The Knicks just finished losing to the Orlando Magic by the score of 117 to 108, and I'm here to break it all down. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? It's your boy Dariel from Knicks Digest, and let's get in right to today's video, talking about the game that just happened. First and foremost, you know, two claps for the Knicks fighting back in this game, but for the most part, get the film of this game, wrap it up, and throw it in the garbage. I mean, you can tell right off rip that the energy that the Knicks were playing with just was not gonna. It was not gonna help them get the W. They were down by as much as 20 points tonight, and they were able to bring it down. I think the closest was to 6, but they just couldn't get over the hump. Stupid foul calls, stupid turnovers, which led the Magic to get the W. But as far as the game itself, going into the game, I was actually really interested in watching this game because the Orlando Magic, as of right now, they are in the playoffs. I believe they're in the top 6 ranking in the Eastern Conference. And for the last few years, you can see that they've been building. They've been building a good foundation. They got Franz Wagner, they got Mo Wagner, the Wagner boys, Jalen Suggs, which was a lottery pick, Paolo Banchero, who was a #1 pick, and they have a good amount of pieces where I think it's time for them to take the next step. You can see them building throughout the last few seasons, and I think this is the season where they need to get into the playoffs because they need to get into the experience to see what that core group, what that core foundation can do. But yeah, going into this game, I was very interested to see how the Knicks were going to react, especially after that loss on Wednesday to OKC Thunder. I thought they were going to come out a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more desperate since they got that loss. But I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe they went into the game going up against Orlando and they didn't think that it was going to be a dogfight like it was, and they underestimated them. And then next thing you know, they're down by 20, and they have to claw their way back into the game, which is exactly what happened. But they didn't have enough energy and they just didn't have enough time to make that comeback official. Now, as far as the start of the game, and the game as a whole, Julius Randle, for as much hate as I give him, if you will, tonight it's only going to be credit. Tonight it's only going to be positives coming out of my mouth for Julius Randle because he was actually the only one that showed up. Julius Randle ended the game with 32 points, but as far as the first quarter, Julius Randle in the first quarter, he had 16 points. He was 7 of 10 from the field, and you could tell that he was just being extremely aggressive. Julius Randle's game is, for the most part, aggressive. He's always putting his head down, putting that big shoulder into the defender's chest, and then going up. But tonight it just seemed like he was not settling for his jump shot. And in the first quarter, like I said, scoring 16 points, and and it looked like he was going to be the Knicks catalyst offensively for the Knicks. But unfortunately, nobody else was able to really help him out. Even the players that we expect, Jalen Brunson, Emmanuel quickly had an okay game. I mean, Jalen Brunson, his final stats, it was okay if you look at it on paper. But if you watch the game, Jalen Brunson, man, he didn't have a good game tonight. He did not have a good game tonight. And as much as I give him a lot of the praise, I'm like I always tell myself, I'm a realist. And Jalen Brunson tonight just didn't have a good game. I don't know what it was. He was missing a lot of bunnies at the rim that he usually makes. He was complaining to the refs a lot. He was always looking for calls. And I don't know. I just didn't like the way I didn't like the way he looked tonight. Now hopefully you can chalk it up as just a random game. On Wednesday, when Chris and I did the post game video, I said that I was definitely encouraged by the effort that they gave the OKC Thunder because the first game after Christmas is there's usually a lull, and that's when the dog days of the NBA start. And maybe you could chalk it up tonight for Jalen Brunson's game tonight. Maybe you could chalk it up to being one of those dog days in December, and he just didn't have it. And he's human, so that's gonna happen from time to time. He ended up with 20 points, like I said. He didn't end up with a bad game, but if we take a look at the statistics, field goals, he was 4 of 15 from the field, and from 3-point, he was 0 of 4. Now, he went to the line 12 times, and he was 12 for 12, being 100% from the line, which is great. And if your offensive game is not there, then you would like to see the player try to get himself to the free throw line. That way, he can see the ball go through the net a few times, build up his confidence. But as far as tonight, the free throw line is the only thing that Jalen Brunson had. He just, like I said, he just did not have it going. Emmanuel quickly ended with 12 points. But again, shooting 4 of 10 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3-point. And lately, quickly has been just coming into the game and just being like a human torch. He's just been checking into the game. And the next thing you know, he's hitting a 3. He's attacking the paint. He's getting a nice layup. But tonight, I don't know. Quickly, just it didn't even seem like he had it, which was unfortunate because one of the things that we lacked tonight was just that offensive rhythm, that offensive groove, and Quickly wasn't able to provide it. But again, he's human. We're 0-2 on this road trip, which isn't great. Hopefully, we get a W tomorrow in Indiana. But someone else that we need to talk about. We need to talk about RJ Barrett, man. I'm always gonna ride for RJ. I'm gonna defend him as much as I can, but I always say I'm a realist. And tonight, RJ was just not. It's man, he it's just frustrating, man. He ended the game with 19 points, but if you take a look at his numbers, 7 of 17 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3 point. He went to the line 5 times. And I want to say most of those points were maybe like in the third and fourth quarter. The first half, he was absolutely abysmal. And I like RJ, man. I really want him to stay with the team. I really want to see him blossom. And if we make some sort of trade at the trade deadline, then maybe this will free up RJ Barrett's offensive game, depending on who we give up, depending on who we get back. But it's just it's re- I don't want to say that he's making it difficult, but he kind of is making it difficult to defend him. And something else that I noted in the game, to start the second quarter, the lineup was looking like it was Quickly, it was Barrett, it was Hart, it was Grimes, and it was Taj. Those five were in the game to start the second quarter, and I remember looking at that lineup, and I was like, who is scoring for us right now? Because again, Barrett was having an off game. Quickly wasn't really having his usual game. Taj Gibson, you're not looking for him for offense. Grimes has been up and down the whole season. Josh Hart, again, you're not looking at Josh Hart to create for himself or for others. So that five that was in the lineup in the starting of the second quarter, I was super worried. I forgot exactly how long Coach Tibbs went with that lineup for the second quarter, but I don't know if that was something he was experimenting, and maybe he was relying on Quickly, maybe he was relying on Barrett as well, but they just didn't have it going tonight, and I don't know. That was just something interesting, and I'm gonna keep my eye on that lineups to start the second quarter to see if Coach Tibbs is experimenting with stuff or if he's like really stubborn and really just sticking to his guys. But yeah, overall, man, tonight was just hopefully we can just chalk it up. Get the film on this game, throw it in the garbage, and chalk it up to the Knicks underestimating the Magic, the dog days of December, and the NBA, and they just didn't have it. It's unfortunate. I definitely would have wanted to see a W, especially after losing OKC on Wednesday. But tomorrow we can make it up. Going into Indiana, it's not going to be easy. Indiana has been taking the league by storm as of late. Even though they kind of hit like a little bit of a bumpy ride, especially after making the finals of the in-season tournament. The Lakers and the Pacers, they've been having a tough few weeks after the in-season tournament. It seems like they've been brought down to earth, and it looks like it's hard for them to shake it off. So maybe hopefully the Knicks could take advantage of that, go into Indiana and get a W. I think at this point it's a desperate W that we need. We can't go on the road trip 0-3. We should at least get one. We should at least get one W. And just as my final note before I wrap it up, Jalen Brunson, again, not having a good game. For as much praise as I give Jalen Brunson, I wanted to come on here and talk about the negatives that I saw as well as the positive. Again, Julius Randle, shout out. You had a great game. You showed up when nobody else really did. But Jalen Brunson, in my opinion, being the best player on the team in the first half, only had 6 points, 1 of 5 from the field. RJ in the first half as well had 4 points, 2 of 9 from the field. And when two of your best three players start off to that type of game, it's going to be really hard to find a way to get a W throughout the game. But yeah, overall, disappointing. It was a disappointing loss. I definitely wanted to see the Knicks come out with a little bit more desperation. And it's not a disappointing loss because we're that much more better than the Orlando Magic. To be honest, we're not, but we're definitely not a team that should be down 20 points against the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic, like I said at the beginning of this video, they're a young up-and-coming team, scrappy, hungry. They want to get that playoff experience, and it seems like they know as well that it's time to put all this together and to see what this core group can actually be. And the only way to see that is by getting in the playoffs, and they look like they're desperate, and they really want to see what the core group can do. So, Knicks, man, let's go. Like I keep saying, let's go into Indiana tomorrow. Let's get this W and let's bounce back from these two losses. But that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I want to say thank you for tuning in. Make sure to leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought about the game tonight. What did you see that you didn't like? Maybe it was something from Coach Tibbs. Maybe it was Jalen Brunson himself, RJ. So let me know your thoughts about RJ. I'm very interested to see how many Knicks fans are gonna be riding for RJ and how many Knicks fans are gonna be putting him on the trade block right away. And also your thoughts on Emmanuel quickly. Were you surprised that he had this type of game, or do you think he was due for one of these type of games? But that's it for now, guys. Happy holidays, and we'll check you out on the next video. Peace.